Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of BellyUpSports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
All right, guys, the 2024 Olympics has concluded, and I'll actually say this will be all the men and women will be jumbled in together. And so three takeaways. Since it's just me, it's not Kelsey or Jose or Edward on this one. Three takeaways that I took from the Olympics. Number one is, France is not the only powerhouse in Europe. I think that's one of the big takeaways that we took from this tournament. France, who had a very strong team in this Olympics, made it all the way to the gold medal match. Our medalists, the men's team, brought a very strong team. But from what we took from not only this but also the Euro, is that it isn't going to be as easy as everyone thinks it is for France, even with the world-class players that they have. That there is a lot of quality in UEFA specifically, and I think that a lot of people there are thinking that it's very easy to just put all their money on France to win every tournament, even though an amazing 2022 World Cup where they made it back-to-back appearances in the World Cup final. Didn't win it, but still impressive nonetheless. And just once again, there's no concern of who's going to take over because there's a lot of talent, even in this U23 team that they feature for the Olympics. That it is a very promising national team, but it is not necessarily the only powerhouse in Europe. And I think that France, I think this was a very humbling slumber for France, and I think it was needed. That it's not going to just be a lock for France for any of their tournaments that they're going to be featured in. Like it's not going to be an easy tournament. And I mean, that's kind of the beauty of international tournaments as well. It's not always the best team on paper that wins the entire tournament. It does often happen, but it is not guaranteed. So I think that that's one thing that we need to take away from that. Number two takeaway that I'm gonna say is Morocco is going to be the new powerhouse in Africa. I mean, they've kind of shown to be a powerhouse now, but I think especially with a lot of players that are switching over to Morocco, obviously Brahim Diaz is one of the names to think of, but there is a lot of top class talent coming from Morocco, and I think what we saw in the Olympics, finishing with a bronze medal, should tell people that Morocco is very much here to stay. I think obviously people could say some things for Egypt, and obviously Senegal is going to be a name that everyone's going to also mention, and Nigeria as well. But I think Morocco definitely has an interesting unit, and I think with the world-class talent that's coming from Morocco, Morocco is going to be a team that people are going to have to pay some attention to in these next coming tournaments. So I can't wait for it. But that's my second takeaway. And number one is USA women are just them. They are them 100%. USA women, battled it through. Alyssa Nair, she is a fucking goat. Obviously, with all that happened with Hope Solo, which I'm not gonna lie, whenever that documentary drops for Hope Solo, I might have a portion of the episode dedicated to that because that is a very interesting story that happened with the U.S. Women's National Team. But for all that drama that happened with Hope Solo and for Alyssa Nair just to come in and step in to be the starting goalkeeper and being as great as she's been since taking over. But USA, I mean, that front three of Trinity Rodman, Sophie Smith, and Swanson, whew, that is a scary front three. That it's going to be fun. It is going to be fun if you're a U.S. women's national team fan, maybe not a USMNT fan, but if you are a fan of this USA women's team, uh, we're they're just getting started. That's all I gotta say about this USA women's national team. There will come the next World Cup. I think USA is still going to be the heavy favorites, and it's just because of the talent that that team has. Great job for the USA as far as the women's part. But on the flip, before I talk more about it, let's talk about the men's national team. And I'll say this: the men's national team, I would say, was not as bad. Was not that bad. Um, it's disappointing that we don't have. I don't think there was much expectation from this roster. I mean, Taylor Booth was a name that it did intrigue me. Um, Schulte, I would say, did not really disappoint me. I think he performed fairly well. I think I do think that it was kind of a bonehead decision to pick Miles Robinson and Zimmerman, Walker Zimmerman for to be your two of your three over 23 players. Mihalovic, I'm fine with. I know a lot of people have been throwing some hate on Mihalovic, but I think as far as depth goes, I think he's not a bad option. I know that he's going to be competing with the likes of Luca Della Torre. Um, I personally feel that Johnny Cardozo should be starting for the U.S. men's national team now, but obviously with Tyler Adams. But I think the midfield it's a very deep competition there. But I do think Jordi Mihalovic definitely has put a good name for himself to at least be considered in that midfield. Obviously, it depends on what the formation and the tactics are. Because the reason why I say it may be is just the fact that when you have guys like Gio Reyna and Malik Tillman who are playing the 10 role, it's kind of hard to validate Mihalovic. But I think Mihalovic has definitely given him some stock into why he could be a good depth piece for the U.S. men's national team. Schulte, I think, in my opinion, did a really good, like I said, did a good job to some extent. Matt Turner is on a very, very short leash at this point. I think the goalkeeper role is going to be a lot more interesting in the years that in a couple in this year just to see if there's anyone that can jump over Matt Turner, because especially if Matt Turner does not go somewhere where he's going to play. It's going to hurt him a lot. Schulte has definitely gotten a lot of looks. I think Gaga Slonina making the move to English One, to the League One, is a good move for him. He's going to get a lot of minutes. It's a good league to develop in. I know a lot of people are hating, but this kid's young. Like, I mean, like for me, goalkeepers, I don't really necessarily feel like they're ready to go to like mid-20s. So I mean, he still has a lot to learn. I don't think necessarily that we need a young goalkeeper. We just need an established savvy vet. Someone that gets playing time. And like I said, Matt Turner, who used to be the odds-on favorite, it's not looking that good for him right now, especially if he's not being able to go, especially if he's not in a place where he can get playing time. And I think that's a big thing that needs to happen for Matt Turner this season, is to go somewhere. Either he gets minutes at Nottingham, or he goes somewhere he's going to get minutes. And for his sake, because his stock is going down. Schulte's stock has risen. Because I'll say this, the blowouts from Morocco and France, to me those were also defensive issues. And like I said, Walker Zimmerman and Miles Robinson, which I wouldn't have many issues if they just grabbed one of the two, but not both of them. Because like I said, I gotta see some other center backs. Like I said, I was really disappointed that we didn't get any of our U23 eligible players in this. And I understand that it could be a club thing, but I mean, Argentina was able to get Julian Alvarez. Morocco got Hakimi to be the captain of the team. France had Olise and well, I don't think Olise was one of the overage players, but anyways, you get my drift. Like they were able to get players, and it's just kind of disappointing that we didn't get any guys. Fermin Lopez and Julian Alvarez both competed in their respective tournaments and are playing in the Olympics. So I think that it is disappointing that the U.S. didn't at least try to feature Gio Reyna, try to feature Yunus Musa, try to feature any of our regular guys because I feel like that could have maybe been a little could change things a little bit. I don't think it changes it too drastically, but I feel like we should have been a little bit more aggressive and made the Olympics a little bit more of a statement because um and like I said, I know this is I'm reaching now because this is the first the first appearance in a long time for the U.S. men, but still like I mean when you have the U.S. women's national team doing what they're doing, men's basketball, women's basketball, doing their things, the gymnastics team, all the women's swimming team, all of them doing their thing, and knowing that we have players that are much better than the guys that we called up. I know that it's a lot of young players, and I know keep going back to I keep going back to that part, but it just would have been nice to have seen what we could see from this U.S. What really we could have seen from a U.S. men's team, um, given that we actually used our players that were eligible, and obviously it also goes back to the clubs. The clubs allow these players to go, but uh, I feel like we should at least have tried. I like I said, my complaint about the U23, the overage players that we chose, which Mihalovic I was fine with. Walker Zimmerman and Miles Robinson, to me, I feel like we should only grab one of the two. Um, I'm fine not grabbing a goalkeeper. I'm actually 100% happy that we didn't go get Ethan Horvath or we didn't get Matt Turner because I needed to see Schulte and Slanina compete for that spot. But yeah, I feel like maybe adding another midfielder, maybe a winger, maybe a striker, would have changed this team drastically. But yeah, I feel like we probably could have done better with the overage player selection. Um, because we gotta find out what we have out there. Like the fact that we had Miles Robinson and Walker Zimmerman, it kind of like I said, we didn't get to know what center backs we have available for depth, for the U.S. men's national team. So that's a big concern for me. But all in all, I think they beat who they were supposed to beat, and they beat them soundly. Like you're supposed to beat New Zealand, you're supposed to beat Guinea. I didn't expect them to beat France. Honestly, a 3-0 loss to France is actually pretty impressive because it could have probably been a lot more. Especially the first half, they were very competitive in the first half. In the second half, it just, you know, uh, Pandora's box opened. But and then in the Morocco game, like I said, it's the same thing. We were just outclassed by Morocco. Um, I mean, Morocco had the leading goal scorer, so but yeah, there's that. So those are my takeaways in U.S. men's national team talk. So the winner uh so the final for the women's competition, the third place match was between Germany and Spain. Germany did win to clinch the bronze medal. Spain's women's team, man, that's another talking point when we're talking Spain. Not only has it been a great run for Spain's men's team, but a women's team as well. Obviously World Cup winners. Were very impressive in the women's Euro. Um, you know, semifinalists in the Olympics. So Spain powerhouse, but Germany ends up getting the bronze medal. USA ends up defeating Brazil 1-0. Obviously a very emotional day. This was, I believe, Marta's final appearance for Brazil. So but USA, being able to prove who they are, and continuing and just staying the course for what this U.S. women's team is going to be. I think the future of USA women is going to be a very, very exciting time period for sure. And then in the men's competition, Morocco beat the living shit out of Egypt 6-0 to get third place. Um, yeah, it wasn't even close. I believe Morocco lost to Spain 2-1. So, um, which I mean, the final though, highest goal scoring final in the Olympics history. So that was super impressive. Definitely like to hear that. Uh, it was a really great match. I was able to watch the last minutes of the second half, and then get to watch extra time. It was a really good performance by both France and Spain, but Spain was just clearly just the better team. And I mean, yeah, Spain, winners 5-3. Gold medalists, France are, and I mean, we're really like this is going to the fine details between Spain and France, but it is going to be a fun rivalry to watch Spain and France go at it against each other. Uh, because their generations of players are just going to continue. Spain has a lot of exciting young players, also from mostly from Barcelona, but still a lot of interesting talent. So yeah, congratulations to Spain for winning the men's competition gold medalist and the USA women's national team for being gold medalists for the women's football portion. Um, all in all, man, I like the Olympics, bro. I love watching these games because obviously the medal count helps for the country as a whole. But just it's just something about representing your country. And I know that like these aren't FIFA sanctioned matches, but still it was pretty fun to watch. It was interesting to see different countries that I've never seen before. You know, watching Uzbekistan and Iraq, and even though they didn't necessarily do fairly well, but but then also, you know, seeing the boldness in Japan, you know, right? To go in without a single overage player and winning their group. By the way, very interesting to see how they perform, especially against the likes of Mali. Um, Dominican Republic, man. I mean Egypt, bro. Egypt won their group, which was with Spain. You know, Argentina had some great flashes. You know, all in all, I think a really good tournament. It was really cool seeing different countries and compete. And yeah, man, I can't wait for the Olympics. The next Olympics will be here in the U.S. actually. So get ready for 2028 when the Olympics are in Los Angeles, and hopefully we see U.S. soccer being represented in both competitions yet again. So. That's all I really have to say about it. But great tournament. Can't wait for the next Olympics. But obviously now all focus is going into the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I definitely can't wait for that. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then we'll go right into our preview for League One.